The weather definitely is itching every single morning when you wake up, and I always feel pity for people who have got that tradition of taking morning showers. With this weather, wow, definitely you need warm water, tea and all that just to keep yourself warm all the time. Remember that there have been speculations that perhaps COVID, the coronavirus cases might actually surge during this cold, and the climax might be August when it's also dusty. So it's important that we keep on masking up, we keep on protecting ourselves and all that. Getting into this weekend, definitely it's a very long weekend which ends on a Monday. Monday is African Freedom Day. Now, African Freedom Day is a day that gives Africans an opportunity to reflect upon different things from the time that Africa was colonized up until today when we are independent. Zambia got its independence in 1964 on 24th October. Other countries got in 1966, 1963, 1956, and so on and so forth. At the moment as we speak, Africa is free, and Monday will give us an opportunity to look at what we have achieved as Africans since the independence of this particular continent as well. We're going to talk more about African Freedom Day as we go on with our show. Welcome to the Breakfast Show today. Thank you so much for joining us. For now, we straight away get into our health tips. On the other side, when we come back, I'll be talking to Mr. Chendela Mukondo, who is from the media team of the Patriotic Front. There are quite a number of issues that we would love to get from the party in power in relation to their mobilization, how they are assisting government in COVID-19, and of course other allegations that have been leveled against the party. For now, we take a break. We need to know what we need to eat every single morning.
Today on Health, we look at milk. Milk does your body good. That's what we have known for years. However, have you ever really sat down and thought about what milk actually does for your body? Well, it's time you did. Finding out the health benefits of milk might actually have you drinking more of this good stuff each day. Here are some health benefits of drinking milk. To get that amazing complexion, Cleopatra knew what she was doing when she took baths in milk. Milk helps to keep your skin supple, soft, and glowing. This is thanks to the many vitamins and nutrients that are essential to skin health. We're not saying you need to fill a tub with milk and relax, but drinking at least 2 glasses per day will provide you with this benefit. For strong teeth, milk is the best source for calcium, and that's exactly what your teeth need. In addition, milk helps prevent cavities and tooth decay. The calcium can only be absorbed by your body when vitamin D is around, so make sure that the milk you drink is fortified with vitamin D. Healthy bones. It's true that kids need to drink milk to increase bone health in order to improve proper growth. It's also true, however, that adults can benefit from drinking milk to help keep their bones strong, which will reduce the risk of developing osteoporosis. Again, this benefit comes from calcium found in milk, and your body does not need vitamin D to absorb the calcium. Muscle growth. Milk is also great at improving muscle growth. This is due to the protein food in milk. Many athletes drink milk following a workout, as it provides the body essential nutrients needed to recover. In addition, milk helps to prevent muscle soreness and replenishes the fluids that were lost during physical activity. For weight loss, studies have proven that women who drink milk daily are more likely to lose weight than women who do not drink milk. If you are in search of a healthy snack or fulfilling appetizer, drink a glass of milk. It's also recommended that you have a glass during dinner or when eating fruit. Reduce stress. Thanks to many vitamins and minerals that are in milk, it can work as a stress reliever. After a long, hard day at the office, sit down and drink a warm glass of milk. This helps to relieve muscle tension and soothe your nerves. It alleviates PMS symptoms. Most women suffer from PMS symptoms. Milk has been proved to relax the body and reduce the negative effects that women experience during their menstrual cycle. So, always have a glass of milk to alleviate the PMS as symptoms. It's a great source of energy. Milk is great for many things, but did you know it's also great for boosting your energy? When you're struggling to get through the day and you need a little pick-me-up, reach for an ice-cold glass of milk. You will feel revitalized in no time. Milk acts as a heartburn eliminator. There are many foods that contain acids that cause people to experience heartburn. One of the simplest and yummiest ways to alleviate this pain is drinking a glass of milk. The cooling sensation and the thick consistency of milk helps to coat the esophagus and stomach lining to prevent heartburn. So every time you feel heartburn, take a glass of milk and you'll be okay. Milk is a disease fighter. Over the last few decades, researchers have found that milk helps prevent many different diseases. This includes its ability to help lower high blood pressure and reduce the risks of strokes. In addition, milk has the ability to reduce the production of cholesterol by your liver and helps improve eyesight. There are some researchers who believe that milk can also reduce the risk of developing certain forms of cancer. Now that you know that there are way many benefits to drinking milk, then you thought you might be wondering if it matters what kind you drink. The short answer is no. You can choose skim milk, low-fat milk, 2% or whole milk. All will provide the same benefits, just with different levels of fat and calories. So, what are you waiting for? Go get a tall glass of milk and take advantage of milk's amazing benefits. That's all we had in Your Health for today. Good morning.
All right, to those who are just waking up, good morning to you. Hopefully you have already had your breakfast. If not, well, make sure that you prepare something healthy. Remember, you need to begin your day with a very, very healthy breakfast, heavy breakfast. Yes, according to health guidelines, your breakfast should be very heavy, your lunch heavy, then your supper lighter, not the other way around. So we need to make sure that what we are eating defines our lifestyle as well. Congratulations to those who are taking morning joggings, morning trainings, those who are doing evening walks and so on and so forth to keep themselves fit. Let it be your daily routine, not only under COVID-19, but even after COVID-19. Let us maintain that. It's always good to see young men, young women, boys, girls, old women, old men, taking time to, just jog in the morning. It's very, very healthy. Joining me on the breakfast show this morning is Mr. Chendela Mukondo from the Patriotic Front Media team. Comrade, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. It's humbling to be here, Comrade Nelson.
It's humbling to have you as well. First things first, how is the party doing under this COVID-19? How is the mobilization process going?
Well, I'm happy that we are here. We are very healthy. And coming to the question, as you know, the president has talked about the new normal. So the new normal is telling us how do we continue mobilizing ourselves as a Patriotic Front in this COVID environment. So far, it has been so good because at the end of the day, and I love what you talked about, the eating habits, it also does to start with the eating habits in the morning. Even as the party functionaries, to the end of the day, we need to have that energy to go out there to fight both COVID and then also to make sure that we continue to provide leadership. We continue providing leadership across the nation. As you know, we are a ruling party. We're expected in this trying time to provide leadership both from the party level and then also on the national level. So ours is that one of following what the president has been telling us, that of living with the new normal. That is, even when we are meeting, we need to practice social distancing. We need to wear a mask. And then I think it is time that we moved on as politicians with this pandemic which is at hand. But basically we have held on too much to what the president has said. We need to practice international ethics so that at the end of the day we do not politicize everything. Because once we lose the gravity, that gravity of looking at this thing as scientific, a health problem, living in this COVID environment, we will end up politicizing everything. So we need to recognize the most important thing as we mobilize ourselves. We are in this environment at hand, which is very dangerous.
You talked about as the party in power, you need to provide leadership. Do you think so far you've provided that leadership? How do you think you've performed as a party in power in providing guidance, leadership amidst COVID-19?
Yes, I think so far so good as a party, because I will give you some of the examples where you find that we have also integrated ourselves, because we are also just part and parcel of the whole community that is affected by this global challenge. We have found ourselves, if you go to Eastern Province, you will find that the Member of Parliament, like Honorable Mwede, even the wife has been seen in the public to help sensitize the members there in Eastern Province, so that everybody get to know where we are as a party. So basically we have taken this challenge as a party as something which we also need to contribute. So if you go to Northern Province, you hear Honorable Undubile, our MCC, who is in charge of legal, is in the field also trying to sensitize people in Northern Province. You go to Rwapula, you find our Member of Parliament there is also spearheading this battle. But what is very important is that we need to not to politicize this COVID. We are moving on as one force. So we have integrated everybody on board. And it's not us who need to integrate really, but it's the government of the Republic of Zambia, which has been put there by the people of Zambia, coming from different backgrounds. So basically with us as a Patriotic Front, we are there to provide the so much needed desired leadership at these trying times. And our approach, it has been very simple. We have been very scientific about it, so that we do not politicize it. We do not practice COVID politics. We have been very historical about it, so that we avoid this issue of making it a religious battle. And then also, we have also followed the international guidelines, so that at the end of the day, whatever America is practicing, whatever China has been practicing, it is also been practiced here, so that it does not look like it's a PFO thing.
Interesting. How would you rate the way government has fared in handling COVID-19 so far?
Well, so far so good. Although this pandemic, it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing, because we are facing this thing for the first time. And it's a huge challenge. Where you are thinking that you are safe, you will find that maybe you are already maybe infected. So it calls for concerted effort to tackle this issue. And I've seen this government, one led by Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who has delegated this COVID-19 in the hands of the Minister of Health, and then also the communication part of it through the Minister of Information. So far so good. I've been following it religiously, and I've been updating the nation on a lot of matters, what is happening. But you hear there are also hiccups here and there, because it's a challenge. It's something which is wreaking havoc across the world. It's something which has hit a lot of nations unexpected, like the way it happens. We just had Italy had suffered huge numbers, proportions. You go to Spain, it was the same. They just said Spain was a disaster. You go to UK, it's also silent in the UK, but it's killing a lot of people. Thousands of people have died there. You go to the USA, it was the same. So basically, the main key thing here, I think what the Minister of Health has been telling us, it's to stand by the international standard. And we are also following what the World Health Organization has been preaching. So basically, with us as party functionaries and being part of the ruling party, we have been told to follow this, to gravitate ourselves and to rotate around these three dynamics or principles. That is to be scientific about it, to be historical about it, and to bring forth facts, and also following the international guidelines. So with us, when we look at the Ministry of Health, it has had challenges here and there, but so far so good. Because I've seen, if it had lost a lot of steam, it wouldn't have had these partners bringing in a lot of donations. So we have seen even the German government coming forth on board, and other stakeholders are coming forth, and that is very encouraging.
Okay. Among those stakeholders who are coming on board, are other opposition political parties part of it?
Yes. Like Honorable Ikaindi Chilema is one of them. I think he has offered the front line. People are fighting the COVID, the nurses, the doctors there, that he can offer at least meat to these people, which we have welcomed, and that is leadership. That is demonstrating leadership. So there are others. We saw President Tayari also. He came in with the same hand sanitizers and then also some other chemicals. So there are various stakeholders who have come on board, and then also there is also others, the individuals that we have seen and have come on board. Religious institutions, the Hindu Association, they have come on board. The Jehovah Witness, they have come on board. The Catholic, they have come on board. And then also the Islamic Society. Like they are doing a commendable job in Southern Province, in particular in Mazabuka, somewhere there.
Okay. Looking at so far, there has been claims that some donations from other opposition political parties, the party in power has been rejecting. How true are those?
No, those, when the pandemic was coming in, we had few numbers. Maybe 4 people were affected. Sometimes it was even at 0 at that time. You find that there was a lot of politicking. And I think we were not very much sensitized when it comes to this matter of the COVID. But after we have seen what it has been doing in the United States of America, in the UK, everybody has come on board. We have seen that this is not something which we can politicize, but otherwise we have been welcoming everybody. So basically there's no one whom we have left out. It's only that when this issue of coming together, preparing ourselves, when we had started the preparedness towards this COVID-19, you find that there were all those little political differences here and there. But otherwise, everybody is welcome, and it's open that we should continue helping our neighbors.
All right, I'm still talking to Honorable Chendela Mukondo, who is my guest on the breakfast show today. Joining us, definitely having breakfast with us, as well as we nibble on a number of issues as well. There are some claims coming in that the party in power, the Patriotic Front, is using COVID-19 to start early campaign towards the 2021 elections. What do you think?
Comrade Nelson, this pandemic, it's cutting across. It's killing. It's not choosing. And, there's even that notion which is going around that maybe it's just spreading of fear. People are trying to spread fear so that maybe other people can continue collecting donation from various stakeholders. Others, they are saying it's an opportunity for campaigning. How do you come up with such a big thing, which is actually you can see it happening in the USA, it's happening in China, it started in China, we have seen in South Africa. You cannot use such a huge challenge, health challenge, to say that you are going to use it as a campaign too. COVID politics are very dangerous, and as a Patriotic Front, we know very well how pandemics have turned against the ruling parties if not properly handled. Because at the end of the day, it's not really the challenge of those who are in opposition or outside, but it is a huge responsibility on the shoulders of those who are governing us. So basically, if you look at the American setup, you find that it has wreaked havoc in the United States of America, whereby even Trump is been accused that maybe he's preparing himself, he's looking at how he can prepare himself for the coming election. But for us, as the Patriotic Front, we are not entertaining such politics, COVID politics. We cannot use such a bad thing as COVID to find ourselves maybe. We are already in power. We are already in power, and we are not looking forward to being in power maybe in 2021, but we are just merely looking at 2021 to retain power, to show our people what we have been doing. Because our people will not look at us as COVID survivors. will look at us. How have we taken the issue of mealie meal? Has it reduced? How have we taken the issue of development, the road infrastructure? How have we taken the issue of education? How have we taken the issue of community development? Those are the things that we are concerned. So for us as Patriotic Front, we have a problem also. It is also blocking us from mobilizing our party. It is also blocking us from carrying on the development projects that we are supposed to complete. In particular, if you look at these energy projects that we are supposed to see that they come to completion, they are on hold. Why? Because of the same COVID. We cannot buy components from China. Why? Because of COVID. We cannot freely mingle with other nations to come to bring in experts to come and advise on how we can do the installation. Why? Because of the same COVID. So for those who are narrow, myopic in this issue, it's not something which somebody can use it as a political tool. So basically, for us, we are following what Dr. Trudeau has been talking about. Avoid COVID politics, either at the partisan level, at national level. If we do that, it will mean that we are creating cracks. So that's what we have been told, and we are avoiding at all costs to involve ourselves in COVID politics. And this is the reason why we wouldn't come here to turn into this breakfast show into a political thing of finger pointing. But we are encouraging and inviting everyone that we may work as one, so that we may beat this huge enemy, the COVID virus, which is wreaking havoc. Either you are Hindu, you are Muslim, you are Catholic, you are Jehovah's Witness, it is taking everyone.
True. The Republican president, in his last address, he announced that examination classes should resume on the 1st of June 2020, when he announced the concept of the new normal.
Yes, yes.
As a party, how do you feel about that?
Well, as a party, you know, I like the way the president comes out whenever he's making such a pronouncement. He even says, he emphasizes the point that this is subject to revision. This is subject to changes as we revise these things, as the situation, because this is a new pandemic. Immediately, you know, there are times when he immediately announces, you find that the number was maybe 37 people, and then you just come from, immediately just finishes announcing, it comes 175, they are sick. People even saying, I know maybe it's the health expert who are trying to decampaign the president. No. Well, when you talk about this issue of the COVID pandemic, it's at hand. And you know, it's not something which is going to go away just like it's some wind which came and it has gone. It can even last maybe even close to 3 years, like in the last pandemic, the Spanish flu, where it had ravaged the world from 1917 to 1920, somewhere there. So even ourselves here, we don't know when this pandemic is ending. So when the president is talking about the new normal, we are welcoming it also. It's time also ourselves. We are not only looking at it from the education point of view, but we are also asking ourselves, how are we also mobilizing this into this new normal? How do we also continue sensitizing into this new normal? And it's important that, you know, I've been listening to your breakfast show and even these health updates where you are even sensitizing the people. As we get into this winter, we were expecting that maybe to even get worse. So I even talked about August, when it will even be windy. So it's the first time that we are facing this virus. And the president is very much alive to the fact that we are facing this pandemic for the first time in our generation. So, but there is another pandemic that we had faced, the HIV virus. So there are these new normal adaptation that we need to do, to take into consideration. So as a political party in power, we are urging everybody to move and rally behind the one Edgar Chagwa Lungu, our Republican president, who has been mandated to take us out of this darkness. So basically, for us, our role is to encourage everyone that we come together as one unit, because survival, we are going to survive out of this predicament where we are in by bringing in that survival instinct into us. So it is the resiliency has to talk about ourselves. How do we survive out of this predicament as one nation, one Zambia, one nation. So basically, we are not taking it as a PF thing, but it's for everyone. So education, I have 4 kids. You have also your kids. So it's for everyone. At the end of the day, whatever we are seeing, we should be able to exchange notes here and there. And then you forward them to the head of state so that at the end of the day can be able, maybe if we see that the pandemic will be worse in the, is it 1st June, you can adjust that one. So basically these are days which are adjustable. These are events which are adjustable if looking at the condition where we are operating in. So basically as a party for us, we are urging everyone to continue following the leadership of one Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and through the means of health, the health expert who provide the necessary information to the head of state. So basically that's where we stand as a Patriot Front.
According to the U.S. Embassy Charged Affairs, they have predicted that August might actually be the climax for Zambia's COVID-19 pandemic. Now, you know why he says that. You don't obviously need a rocket science to tell you why August, September have actually been appointed, because starting from July, August, September, these are the months when Zambia usually experiences a very windy weather